Remember when children's shows were just sort of fun times and giggles and, you know, you just have fun with them? Well, that's not like that anymore. It's really not. You need to be really careful as to what your kids are watching. Someone who cares a lot about this is Shelley Charlesworth. She's a researcher at Transgender Trend and a former BBC journalist. Shelley, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. I just wanted to jump right into it. What's going on? What are you working towards, and what have we identified is the issue here with BBC children's programming?
Right. Well, Transgender Trend likes to make that link between what's happening in the medical world, the medicalisation of children with gender-related distress, and where they get these ideas from. So that's why we've always been concerned about what goes with the BBC's output. In fact, we've been writing to them since 2015, and from 2020 we were writing quite serious letters about impartiality and the lack of evidence for the programs that they were putting out that indicated that children could change sex or maybe are born in the wrong body, that sort of thing. And we got absolutely nowhere. We couldn't get a meeting, our letters weren't answered. It's been a real uphill struggle. So the recent dossier, the recent memo has really helped us in that it's brought the issue to the fore. And like other groups, we've all got the receipts for how the BBC didn't listen to us. Most importantly, I'd say we've wrote to the head of safeguarding about some of the programs which we feel actually put children at risk because of the ideas that they promote. And we haven't heard back from her at all. No response to our emails.
I mean, there's been a spate of kind of terrible things. I mean, some of them mentioned in the article, an episode of Radio 5 School Runnings, which described children as small adults trapped in bodies. You know, we've obviously had sort of an encouragement just in the general media, but this insidious play at getting kids while they're young hooked onto this ideology, which I think the BBC really has been complicit in pushing. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, you're right. You started off by saying people trust the BBC. The internet seems like Wild West, so you put your children in front of the television, and you trust them to make programs that are not going to be biased and not going to be putting forward storylines that actually are full of bias. I think that's one of the things we were most shocked at, that Waterloo Road and Casualty have had a lot of storylines about transgender, and they've all been positive. It's great if you're trans. You know, a boy can become a girl, a girl can become a boy. In Casualty, quite recently, a long-running character who's been non-binary is celebrated when she goes to have a double mastectomy.
It's sick, honestly. It's sick, Shelley.
Yeah, I know. And the problem is these programs are still there on the iPlayer. Even if they stopped making programs like this tomorrow, they're there on the iPlayer for anyone to access. And we'd like to see them taken down. And we'd also like to see better storylines introduced into entertainment.
Children are so impressionable. You're right. You do need better storylines. I haven't got too much time, but I know you've worked at the BBC. What was your time like there, Shelley? Because I can only think that with your ideology, you might have stuck out like a sore thumb.
Well, I left before it got stonewalled, if you like, before Stonewall became involved, and the T and the Q part of the acronym, LGBTQ, became dominant, and the staff network became so powerful. So, but since then, I have obviously kept in contact with people, and I know what's going on. I know how staff networks have driven a lot of what has been going on at the BBC. Well,
that was one of the findings in the dossier about a sort of cabal of transgender-loving staff members that wanted to push this ideology and wanted to push anyone down that didn't want to.
Absolutely, they do. And, you know, the receipts are there. I've seen the messages. I've seen the messages to friends of mine. You know, you can't talk about this. you misgendered somebody,
That's
that
shocking.
sort of thing. Yeah, yes, it is shocking. It needs,
Shelley, I could talk to you
root
all
and branch.
night. I could talk to you all night. I've got to go to the news, but do come on the show again because I want to get into more about that. I think there's a lot to get into and there's a lot we still don't know. That's Shelley. She is part of the research at Transgender Trend, and she's a former BBC journalist. She's been in the belly of the beast. What a woman, honestly. She's standing up for women's rights. There's not many like her out there. After the break, another woman who cares about your rights.